What's up, everybody? Welcome to Tardy to the Party, the weekly podcast centered around news and reviews, which will always be extremely entertaining for you. And as you may know, this podcast is centered around the Holy Trinity, potentially quartet, of pop culture.
Not a quartet.
DC, Marvel, and Star Wars, potentially Lord of the Rings, but we will get to that in a while.
With any luck.
Stop it. Let's actually like the Amazon series before we just go that far.
Well, this one isn't done by him. Well, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. Do you get around?
It though? Do we?
What?
I get around news. It's news. So we're obviously going to start off with DC as always, except for last week. That was a lie. Also, I think I forgot the introduction. I'm J Sib.
I'm KP.
And the bull sitting next to the man flexing the golden pipes.
That's right. I apologize greatly for that terrible singing. I'm sorry.
The world's not ready.
Yeah, that's just really what it is, man. Don't you ever let anyone bring you down. The world's just not ready for you.
Damn right. It can be anything you want.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Or at
boys.
least that's what we're told.
For family.
That was kind of depressing, my bad, guys. You can be anything you want, people. Anything in the world.
Except for DC movies, apparently. Because apparently the projections for Shazam 2 are not looking good box office-wise. They are projected right now 43 to 52 million opening weekend, which is basically under both the first Shazam, I believe, and Black Adam.
So are they just kind of basing that because Black Adam didn't take off either?
It's based, that came from Box Office Mojo, who's like,
Are they usually pretty good?
Yeah, I mean, they're usually pretty spot on. I think I think with Ant-Man they had it 90 to 105 million.
I wonder how
I think it crushed that.
I wonder how they do that.
I think it came in at like 10. I thought it came in at like 104 or something. Actually,
I wonder how they do their metric for projecting.
Dude, yeah, statisticians are crazy.
104.
Wild.
Big old
so Ant-Man had 104
bastards.
opening
See,
weekend.
that ain't me.
So they're usually pretty accurate. Obviously, I'm sure they're not.
That ain't me.
100%. But
well, that's disappointing. Because Levy does a good job. The first one was very entertaining. I'm kind of looking forward to this, even though this movie looks just overall goofy.
I'm still very, very unsure about the second one.
Well, here's what I
hope it's good.
Here's what it is for me is I kind of keep seeing ads for it, and I keep saying in my head like, oh yeah, Helen Mirren's in it. That's a little weird.
And Lucy Liu.
Also that.
Also weird.
Also just weird. In general, strange castings.
And they're Greek goddesses.
Yeah, and No, the plot is not related to that. I don't know why I just kind of see the trailers and I get like Brother Blood vibes. Don't ask me why. I don't know.
Oh God, I hope not.
I don't know. I absolutely, that's not the plot. I don't know. I just kind of see the trailer and it's like, okay, well, Lucy Liu and Helen Mirren look pretty evil, but then there's like this third goddess that looks like she might be a potential love interest or something. What's going on there, Jay?
Yeah, I didn't even know this third goddess was going to be in the movie until literally, I think, today when they released the posters. So I saw the actress in an interview, like a cast interview, and when she popped up, I was like, wait, who's that? I was like, I don't remember her from the first one.
The movie?
So then, and then when they released the posters, I was like, oh, there's a third one. Okay. As per usual, DC/Warner Brothers like to spoil their movies before they even come out. I.e., Batman v Superman when they showed Doomsday in the trailers, and I was like, you probably should have held off on that bad boy.
The movie probably, like, that would have been something that, like, yeah, even though people are like, oh, it sucks, but, oh, dude, they threw Doomsday at us out of nowhere, like, that, it probably would have been better for the movie.
Oh, yeah, I think it would have came more as, like, a surprise and a hype moment, but, yeah, it kind of got ruined by the trailers. DC has a classic history of just, I'm not going to get into that shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would imagine these projections are due to just the fluttering DC universe as it's been. Not a lot of people have. I mean, let's face it, the DC EU or DCU, as it is now known, hasn't exactly been mainstream popular. It's kind of struggled critically and audience-wise, so it's floundering. Everybody knows that there's a new universe essentially around the corner. Quite frankly, we'll get to it in a second, but if the rumor about Aquaman 2 is true,
I saw that,
I think the only movie that really has a shot to making actual like real money, like potentially a bill, is The Flash. Like,
are they saying that Aquaman 2 is dog meat?
Well, let's get into it. That's pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, there's rumors out, which I honestly, quite frankly, don't believe, because I don't really believe any rumors that are around, like, test screeners, because they all have to sign NDAs and all that shit. So, yeah, apparently there was a test screening for Aquaman 2, and it was so terrible, so bad that people were walking out of the screening for it. I would just like to say I got really bad deja vu when this came out. I was like, whoa, Wonder Woman 1? Because I remember this being a rumor before the first Wonder Woman came out, that people were walking out of that test screening too, and then, lo and behold, granted, third act's kind of dog shit, but the first two acts are
not that bad,
fucking. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. But I still do not like that third act. But the first two acts are amazing. So there's no way people were walking out of Wonder Woman in test screenings until maybe, when they came up to this, like, oh yeah, another bland ass, cloudy, orangish red background in the middle of fucking nowhere. And that I think critics have complained about for the past like 2 or 3 movies, but we're just not going to change it at all. Whatever, fuck it. But. So obviously that wasn't true, because despite all that, the first Wonder Woman got pretty good reviews. So I don't believe this like at all, but I figured it was worth addressing.
Yeah, I saw people also saying too, like, comments and shit where I saw it. They're like, well, it probably doesn't help this movie that, like you said about Shazam, you got a whole other universe that's waiting to be started just around the corner, for one. 2, the movie's undergone a lot of reshoots, not just because of, like, Snyderverse being dead, but also because of a certain actress that done messed up.
Say she shit the bed, maybe?
I'd say she shit the bed. My dog got stung by a bee.
I'm not touching this. I'm not touching this. Nope.
Okay.
That was a good one, though.
It needed to be said.
Yeah, but also rumors. Although rumors, though, apparently she still has a pivotal role in this movie.
Yeah,
which is why she can't be completely axed, and I don't really want to exactly spoil why she's apparently important. But
well, if she's in the movie at all, I think that just basically offset an entire part of the population in the United States.
Maybe.
I mean, not the people that would go to see it anyway. Like, I'm talking about the people that are kind of on the fence. That it's badass. I'd go see it, but old shit the bed's in it.
So I will say, though, if Aquaman 2 does turn out to be like good, I do think that movie does also have a chance of making pretty good money, because it did very, very well internationally in the first one. So
yeah, I
still think if it's, as long as it's good,
yeah,
I think that movie still has a chance to make some pretty good money too. But other than that, yeah, I don't think. I mean, what did Shazam have? Like 500 and something million the first one or something.
It's just a Google away, man.
It's just a Google away. It's right in front of me. It's just staring at me. He's like, dude, just look at me, man. I'm right fucking here.
Giant ass laptop in front of
God, I was way over. That's why I kind of guessed it. 366 million was the box office for the first Shazam, which really wasn't that bad, because if I remember right, it didn't really have a huge budget. It's a very not well-known character at all.
Right.
But it did very well critically, and the audience really liked it, so hence why I got a second one. So, yeah. But anyway.
Who are we talking about? Which one?
Shazam.
Oh,
made 366 first one. But
are you saying that people don't know the original Captain Marvel at all?
I mean, I think the people that do just, don't like.
That's right, people. Yeah. He's Captain Marvel. Not Captain Marvel of Marvel.
But then there's no Brie Larson.
They were the original Marvel family.
Yeah, the original family was...
Oh, sorry, what was that word? And we're back, family.
Family.
We need a counter on the corner. If you can edit that in.
Should have done that last week.
Yeah, probably.
I think the next poster needs to be the Avenge the Fallen poster with,
sure.
spoilers, MODOK.
Hashtag family. Next one. So apparently, WB/DC does have like high confidence in the Flash because they are doing a test screening at CinemaCon.
Ooh,
which is 2 months before
time.
2 months before it actually releases.
Yeah.
And obviously those CinemaCon, and they're going to be showing the people that actually like own the movie theaters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like obviously they feel very, very confident if they're going to whip this proverbial dick out and just slap it on the table in the middle of CinemaCon.
So hoping, fingers crossed, movie of the superhero movie of the summer.
I hope so.
I'm excited.
I mean, James Gunn says it's potentially one of the greatest superhero movies of all time.
I mean, that's true. Yeah, he's hype about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
and I feel like that does say something because he had nothing to do with the movie. It's not like he was a part of the making of it. So like,
okay.
Usually when new heads come in like that, usually they're pretty quick to shit on anything that was not made by them and prior to them.
Even no water notes on the movie, and you're saying it's the best one that there's.
Yeah, I mean he hasn't.
Well, maybe he just likes it because it's Flashpoint as the plot.
I mean that is a golden goose of an egg that he inherited when he got the job. It's like. Yeah. Oh, nice.
So now I get to look really fucking good and not even do anything.
Perfect.
That's fucking great.
Thanks for that.
Hell yeah.
All that hard work you did, thanks.
Thanks.
Gee, thanks.
And we're back.
I can write the Superman movie I want. I don't even have to do an origin because Flashpoint. Awesome.
Oh, and then speaking of the new Superman movie, apparently James Gunn confirmed that he got hired for this, writing the script for this movie 6 months ago.
Yeah, before he and the other one were announced as like co-CEOs or whatever the hell.
Yeah, it was before that, and it was before Cavill even made his appearance. In the movie.
They
everyone's got to remember the shooting for that scene was very last minute. It was like a month and a half prior to the film actually releasing. So it was very. It still lines up with being before that even still.
But I saw that he came out and said that and I thought that was just so interesting that. So it's almost like, did the WB execs kind of have this or want this all along? I mean, I guess since the Batman was already had come out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they were just like, okay, whatever, we'll just have superhero. Maybe at that time they were just like, well, fine, we'll have off superhero movies, just like with how they want to do the
Elseworlds, yeah.
The Elseworlds Superman movie with the
which one? The JJ one or the Michael B one? Well, apparently there's two of them, and they're different.
Oh, I thought they were the same movie.
I thought so too, but I think they're different because I don't.
Well, the Michael B one where I just can't think of that version of Superman.
Because if I remember right, he was like rumored to be in it. Originally, because it's supposed to have a black Superman in it.
Right.
But then he came out and said he didn't want to play a black Clark Kent. He basically, if he was going to play a black Superman, he wanted to play Val Zod.
Oh, thank you, the name. That's what escaped me. So Val Zod,
which J.J. Abrams is apparently not a Val Zod movie. Apparently it's a Clark Kent movie.
Okay.
But...
whatever.
I mean, it doesn't really matter, I guess, but...
I mean, no, it doesn't, but...
Personally, I would be hyped for a Michael B. Jordan Val Zod movie. I think that would be hype as shit. I would like to see that suit on screen because he's got a pretty sweet suit.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It's pretty sick. But
there's that.
Share the hotness. Don't keep all that hotness to yourself.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it's like lighter blue and
white.
And there's anher one too. There's the other one too, where it's more traditional. But I like the blue, red, and silver suit. I think it looks really fucking clean.
But no, when Gunn kind of shared that, I just thought it was interesting because I thought like at the time then Warner Brothers had like 3 different working Superman IP. It was IPs basically, or whatever.
I think that's another reason like Zaslav was also hinting at like when he said that we're not going to have like 5 Batmen running around. Like I think it was also kind of like saying that about Superman too. It's like we're not going to have like
or just all
five, just all the characters. We're going to have 5 of everything out there.
Yeah, we're not going to create that kind of tension and rivalry amongst fans, and
more than we've already done. You know,
I mean, with Batman, it's pretty easy though. But yeah.
And then I think the only other James Gunn news. Oh, there's 2 more. He also came out and confirmed that he never said Superman was going to be 25.
Okay.
Which then riled up people to being like, okay, so he is going to be maybe like 30-ish, potentially-ish. And so then the people were like,
that's what it was, yeah.
Why not just keep Henry Cavill? He looks 30 still. And it's like, here we go. The madness has started.
Plant that again.
Oh boy. I like how open he is.
I thought we were over this.
But sometimes I wish he would.
Oh, no.
I thought we were over this.
I don't think it'll ever go away.
I know. Just wishful thinking.
Unless we are absolutely just blown away by the Superman movie he makes.
Right.
Which, even then, that might be a long shot.
True.
Because he's going to make it lighter. I mean, his universe is going to be more like that, what's directly behind your head.
See, I don't think so.
I kind of do. Because
he's already come out and said that there's going to be, like, R-rated projects. Marvel, until Deadpool 3 comes out, has not had an R-rated project.
It's true.
And you got to remember, his Suicide Squad movie was R-rated.
True.
Yeah.
He definitely has a darker...
Yeah, true.
His stuff has a lot of comedy and levity and heart in it, but it also, think of Peacemaker too. I mean,
I hope it's just levity.
I think his Superman movie will be PG-13. It'll probably be lighter.
I more just mean it's like, it is R-rated, but it's like, to me, that's, because it's so violent. But I mean, tonally, it's like...
lighthearted. Levity.
Well, it's just more, it's like, again, kind of like how you were saying about the Wonder Woman movie with the whole... hey, let's not do the whole dark setting with an orange background or whatever color you said, but in general, just the whole dark tones, dark settings, like, Gunn is still, like, more like, no, colors, bright, you can see things.
Neon lights.
Yeah.
Neon lights.
Like,
put them in the intro screen. Neon lights.
Giant pink purple starfish.
Yeah.
Like,
hell yeah.
That's really what I meant to say, so... But you're right. That he's not afraid to get violent.
Acid trip with violence, huh?
I mean, that's why I'm so.
You just watched.
That's why I'm so pumped.
You
for
haven't
the
watched Peacemaker?
No, Peacemaker, no.
Oh
no.
He said
it's violent.
He said he didn't like it. Remember?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
The dry
I don't understand, but
the dry humor of John Cena doesn't tickle your fancy.
I just don't like John Cena. Okay. Almost like.
Wow.
At all, really.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is like
the people.
Damn. Wow, he's a world record amount of Make-A-Wish.
No, I'm not talking about him as a person. I'm talking about him as an actor. I just don't like him as an actor. That's it.
He could be the worst actor in the world, and I would still love him. I'd be like, he's great. Look at him.
I think Jeff is kind of telling you that he's the worst actor in the world.
I don't know. I wouldn't say that. Hang your hat on your fucking Make-A-Wish stuff.
Oh, God.
No, I'm just kidding. No, he's.
I think he also tied. Like, I'm pretty sure he's tied or one below still. I can't remember. Of woo, the Nature Boy, Ric Flair, an all-time world chips dog. How about he hangs his hat on that?
That's fine and dandy. You can write yourself that championship however you want. That's all you want. That's all it is. I mean, I don't discredit the man's successful acting career in the ring. I only discredit the acting career after.
I mean, you gotta remember though.
I just don't like it.
We will not bash professional wrestling on this podcast, sir. Okay, they gotta be actor, stuntmen, live in front of a live crowd doing death-defying shit that they can't fake.
But nonetheless, it's all choreographed. It's all acrobatics. Impressive, yes. Watched it all my childhood. I still watch it before slap fights on Wednesdays.
Okay.
Yes. It's. I mean, I'm not saying that's the best one to watch, but it's just on the hour before. It's just on the hour before.
You just happen to turn it on.
Yes. Like literally on Wednesday nights at 8:00, there's just nothing on. Like other than if you've knocked out all your regular streaming shows that you need, and you're waiting.
So what are you watching? AEW then?
Yeah.
See, I kind of like AEW.
I didn't mind it. There's some good performances there, but then again, sometimes, man, you're just like, what the fuck is this?
Sometimes you're just like, man, it's still not real wrestling.
Oh, but trust me,
It's still real to me, damn it.
You will do that still watching WWE too. They're both, there's still some, whatever. There's some campy shit that probably shouldn't.
Dude, what's the one? What are the?
Well, I mean,
you might know
Jesus,
this.
guys, the whole damn thing's a soap opera.
Exactly.
I mean, it is.
It is.
What more are you guys asking for?
Well, that's
here?
what I meant when I said
Just be
his acting
entertained.
career in the ring. I just don't like him on the silver screen. All right, he can stay in the
Jeff
ring.
is fucking McMahon and South Park. Just the
Wow.
just in the balcony. Just they're decent wrestlers.
So you're
That's
telling me
fucking Jeff.
Subpar.
you're telling me
Yeah.
Dave Bautista shouldn't have became an actor?
No, I do like him. I'm not saying that the wrestling precludes you from being an actor. I'm
All
just
right,
saying.
hold on.
Just John.
Okay, so is it just John Cena? What are your actual feelings then about The Rock?
Indifferent.
Dwayne.
Indifferent. Remember, I always say that.
Oh,
because
okay.
I like him in some things when he's not.
We got all
just
three
The Rock.
here.
Yeah.
You know,
So we got all
like-
three here. Like he's got John Cena shit. He's got indifference about The Rock, and Dave Bautista fucking kills it.
Yeah.
Okay,
and the
Jeff's
roles-
got
and
all
the-
three.
And the roles that he takes.
The
there,
Bulls got all three.
Batista does a really good job of diversifying his portfolio.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that weird ass looking movie about them in the cabin. Just because he
Knock
looks-
on the Cabin.
Knock on the Cabin or whatever. He looks so like he's a little creepy in that. So
I wouldn't mind the trailers
wouldn't mind
for
to see
that.
a different.
Is that a Stephen King one again? Is that like a Stephen King written
I don't
story?
know.
That's
It's
If it is, I'll just want to see it even more.
I know. I thought he was involved, but I can't say.
Yeah,
100%.
Why can't I think of it? He did the last Airbender movie. He's all about twists.
Oh shit.
M. Night Shyamalan.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. I knew it was one of the big horror names.
Yeah. Yeah, but honestly, the trailers for that movie, Knock on the Cabin, is why I think I saw somebody suggest him as, if he's not going to play Bane, play Hugo Strange in the DC universe. And I was like, and that
actually looks like it could fit. Like, I feel like he could actually play a good Hugo Strange.
I think so too. So, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean,
I think he's going to show up eventually. Because him and
mean,
James Gunn are really tight. I mean, we've talked about it before. He openly wasn't going to continue doing in Guardians.
We've had Bane twice. Let's get some different Batman villains up in this bitch.
100%.
I would kind of agree.
100%.
I've never been the biggest fan of Bane, and that's mainly because it all is dependent on how you write him. And I feel like The Dark Knight Rises is kind of close. Because he is supposed to be more like a military mastermind. Like, he's not supposed to be
just a
like
roided up dude.
An idiot. Yeah, like no, that's not. No,
I'm gonna blow up Gotham Stadium.
Break your back.
It'll be very, very painful.
Drop you on your spine. Very, very painful.
And then, last bit of James Gunn news. He shared a picture of the Authority. So I think he maybe kind of was hinting at maybe who, like, all the characters that were going to be in the movie, or some of them that were going to be in the movie. But then somebody asked about Creature Commandos in the comments, and he confirmed that he is almost done casting for Creature Commandos, for the voice actors.
I was going to say the voice actors, yeah.
Which means if they show up in live action, they will be the live action actors as well.
Love that.
Quick ones just to kind of, we'll end on this one because I feel like maybe we could talk about it a little bit. But I don't know if you guys are familiar with Dead Boy Detective, but it's a DC comic line. I am personally not. I've never personally read it, so I don't know really much. I've heard good things.
I don't know what it is at all.
But apparently it is does not fit in the DCU's plan, so they have shipped it off to Netflix.
Okay.
So that'll be a future Netflix show instead
I
of
saw
HBO
that
Max.
too.
And then the last one, this one is, of course, rumor. Apparently, Lady Gaga is not going to be a psychiatrist or a therapist at Arkham. She's going to be a patient as well with Joaquin Phoenix, Joker, and Joker 2.
This is the thing, you know how I say how I react, and I immediately tweeted with Michael Scott. Nope. Don't like that.
That just made me cringe a little bit. Inadvertently. I just...
Do you guys... I mean, I cut Jay off were you gonna follow up and say something about it? Like
all I'm just saying is remember, like, it is just rumor, so it's not confirmed yet. But yes, well, go ahead. I'm going to echo your thoughts, but go ahead.
My thought is like, I will say I get it, because it's a little campy and hokey that a psychiatrist just has a patient that she falls in love with because of the type of crazy that he is. The whole thing about Harley Quinn, that side of it's always been a little like, well, that's probably a little much. But again, we're also talking about a comic book thing.
Yeah.
But if you do want to kind of get as grounded and realistic as possible, I do understand the change, because I don't ever believe an actual psychiatrist would just fall in love.
Right.
Yeah,
but we're already there. That's my only thing.
Like, we're talking in a mental institution. Now, when you go to regular therapy, I can fully believe you got a How I Met Your Mother situation that could happen, and your therapist falls in love with his patient. However, when we're talking like they're in a mental institution, I don't know, in today's world, God, I guess
you never fucking
know, but
ever.
My hope is that no psychiatrist that, is like...
One thing I will say to keep in note, as far as at least Arkham Asylum, which I'm pretty sure is where this is going to take place, is it is also a corrupt ran place.
And also
it is possible that a slightly... Even though, qualified or not, I'm pretty sure she actually is qualified in the comics, but to be a little mentally unhinged and scarred up, I was like, that may be why she's actually at Arkham to begin with, is because she can't really get hired anywhere else.
Well, I was going to say, isn't that the whole thing about her, too, like, now that you say that, is her background is that she was always kind of a little quirky and weird, and kind of a little crazy herself, but kind of...
But she was smart still. She was still very smart.
Yeah. And also, which plays into the character building and the world building for Joker and his character, with her and his ability to manipulate her into, because it wasn't all just her giving in to him for no reason. He built up that relationship and manipulated her to get what he wanted. And then after that, he just had her. She was just there.
Mm-hmm. I still think you can pull it off with some good writing that especially in a place like Arkham, I find it. Plus, you got to remember, like in the first one, you can't always necessarily believe the narrator, I will say. So I'm sure there'll be a little hints of that too. So maybe they could flip it on its head and just have it to where, kind of like in the first movie where he made up that girlfriend.
Right.
It could be this too.
Sure.
And maybe she's not actually.
Yeah, she's not
with him at all. Which would be kind of weird if they're going to make a whole movie kind of about an arc in the first movie and kind of just repeat it
and essentially knock its legs out from underneath it.
Yeah.
Saying, "Oh no, what you think is right is not."
That would be a bold choice, I would say. That would be a brave and bold choice.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Couldn't resist. But I feel like that could be
honestly
very divisive.
Okay, real quick, though. I think I've been seeing on that there's supposed to be a lot of the Bat family, and that is like the big rumor, and I kind of hope so.
That's dope.
I just want to see a full grown-ass man, Dick Grayson, in a Nightwing costume.
Fuck yeah, dude. Let's go.
I agree. That was the one nice thing, because when they announced it, that it was going to be Damian, I was like, but then he was like, because the Bat family is still there. I was like, the Bat family?
Right.
Bat family?
Yeah,
I was like, well, technically that's the only way it would kind of make sense if they're going to ever get introduced, if Damian's already around, is they kind of already have to exist. So,
what did you say that... The third one that I never remember. Sorry.
Oh, Tim Drake?
Okay. Actually, that was the name I had in my brain, but for some reason I was thinking... I don't know why I was thinking...
Love Tim Drake. He's a baller.
So what does he call himself once he leaves?
Red Robin. Red Robin.
Okay.
So there's Nightwing, Red Hood, Red Robin, and then Robin.
Red Robin.
And then there's technically Stephanie Brown, who's Robin for a little stint, but then she turns into Spoiler. Her dad's a villain. Yeah.
Cool.
And then, of course, you got the Dark Knight one, Carrie Kelly. That's an Elseworlds tale, so she doesn't necessarily count.
Right.
It's weird. But hey, that's the caveat though. If they do, whether she's a patient or if they do flip it on its head, where he does imagine them being in love or whatever, it's an Elseworlds tale. So you can't get fucking mad at it. It's not the main canon movie. All right, get over yourself.
Okay.
But
gotcha.
That's it for me on DC this week. News.
Marvel News. Speaking of Bane, Mr. Hardy.
Ooh.
All right, so
Let's go.
2 days ago, he shares a deleted scene from the first Venom movie. Oh, look at you!
Isn't that about time? Yeah.
Sorry, I can't.
I knew you guys were I knew you were going to do it.
We prepped you before the episode.
It's true.
How many times can I say Venom?
Looks like a very quirky scene. Anyways, he kind of casually just said, whilst working on V3 pre-prep, and then did a bunch of ats. This throwback came up, and it's just a deleted scene from the first movie. But yeah, just kind of casually just dropped, well, V3, they're just working on it right now.
Love that.
I definitely missed it was in production.
Yeah, I didn't really
that's
about it.
definitely coming out a lot sooner than we probably all thought.
Yeah.
So now that's kind of arising, like, I don't know. I wonder what this one's about. I know for sure that, I believe his name is Toxin is in it. Because, have you seen the second one?
Yes.
Okay. So you know the cop? And like the eyes?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's Toxin.
Okay. It's been a while since I've seen it. Shaky on some things.
It like the first one, it wasn't very memorable. So.
Well, it was.
Off.
I mean,
I love that. I love those movies. I love them. Just because I find reasons to love them.
the second one is bad, though.
I
like Carnage. I like Carnage's portrayal. Not 100% of it, but I liked how they did just for the movies.
It's another movie like Ant-Man 3 where the plot just went at breakneck speed, and it was like, you probably should have had 30 more minutes of this movie.
It did go too fast. I do agree with you there.
It went so fast. Like, that's why I was like, when I was watching, I'm like, this is just like the first one. This is entertaining. I was like, but the plot is going so fast that it does not make sense. It doesn't even make character sense.
Yeah. I like it. I like it from a fan's perspective. I'm not a critic, so it's like, I found reasons to like it as opposed to,
I hate it as fucking both a fan and a critic. I do not like those movies.
Both of them?
Michael Scott, nope, don't like that. Not
like
my
that.
Venom. I'm like how the people reacted to Man of Steel when they're like, not my Superman. He's not bright and shiny.
Venom?
Not my Venom. Nope.
Definitely not your Carnage.
No.
Right.
No.
That's the other,
that was the most abysmal part.
And that's the other thing about it too. It's like,
don't agree.
I feel like because it is a PG-13 movie, right? I feel like they missed it.
That's part of the problem too.
I was gonna say, I feel like with Carnage they missed it. It's like, man, you could have had this like pretty gruesome and violent.
I said that before I went to see it. I was like, fuck, if this would have been R, I
you
would have been so much more excited.
You would have actually seen him eat people. Like, they allude to it in the one shot, but like if it was R-rated, they would have shown him just ripping people's heads off, just like he does in the comics.
And I've read all those, so
right.
I love them. Love them. I read those when I was a fucking kid. Like, no, not kid, but kid.
Yeah, I get it. Like, film's subjective, so whatever. I mean, people are gonna like different things, but for me, those movies that's not what I personally want out of Venom movies. But I'm glad that that they're liked well enough. It's a comic book property, and it's getting a third movie. That's never really gonna get too upset about that.
Right, and also the thing is too. Hopefully, this gives them more ground to correct so that they can appeal to all fans instead of some. This gives them more. Obviously, now that we're on our fucking third one, obviously we got people around long enough to support it, like you said. Make it right.
Yeah, please.
Make it right. Make everybody happy.
Please,
because it wouldn't be hard to do with fucking Venom's character. I mean, it's easy to fucking love. It's just I think that it's just like Venom was completely different from the first to the second with like the talking and the interactions and stuff like that. I'm like, not the direction I would have personally went. Funny, sure, but fix it for everybody.
To me, I think part of my problem is the Venom I like is a villain.
Yeah.
This is, and I get it in the comics. They take Venom in an anti-hero route. I get it.
Eventually,
I'm gonna let you guys know though that when they did that, quit reading the comics because I was just like, nah, not.
It's not doing
Eddie Brock's
it
a
for you.
douche. Get him out of here.
See, now it makes sense why you don't like the movies.
That is 100% why, because I don't like the anti-hero Venom.
Yeah, you
I like
the vengeful Eddie Brock that's kind of just an asshole because he believes that Peter Parker wronged him.
And then he gets corrupted by the symbiote.
Yeah.
So then it makes him even more fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Granted, so I personally like Spider-Man 3 Venom better. Oh, God, that was not easy to say.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. But
I can't even say that shit.
I didn't say the movie was great, and I don't particularly like the actor that they cast.
Nope. Don't like that.
But he was more accurate to the comic. Kind of.
I mean,
to some of them,
Yeah.
Except he was a little, but he was a tiny little twerp even in the Venom
So
suit.
for Grace, I remember being, like all the way back then, that just young, and that was the casting. I just hated that.
Yeah, it was not.
I was like, Eric Foreman from 70s Show? I was like, the kid's a twig!
Symbiote.
I was like, did you guys...
Well, that was the problem, too, is even when he is Venom, he's still small. Like,
I know,
they didn't even make him big. I was like...
It was like trash.
I think that's honestly other than the movie being over-bloated with villains, I mean, that's the main reason Venom got hate. It was like, why is he so fucking tiny? He's supposed to, tower over Spider-Man and beat the fucking shit out of him.
The problem with that movie is that movie did not need to really have Sandman.
No.
Like, Peter could have just got the symbiote, kicked the shit out of Harry, and then midway through the movie, the suit goes to Brock, and then they duke it out, and then he would lose, and then he would have to run to Harry and be like, okay, look, like, I blew half your face off, but I need your goddamn help. We're
friends, we're family.
God damn it.
It's not coming.
Yes! Okay. Moving on. Done talking about Venoms. Don't.
Nope, that wasn't.
I didn't think about it until you said it.
Don't.
We're okay.
Don't.
We're good. We reeled it back.
Don't start White Boy Fresh. But, all right, moving on. Jeff Loveness. He wrote Ant-Man. Critics hated it. Audiences love it. Well, good job. Because now he gets to write Avengers Kang Dynasty. And he just said, dude, I'm pumped about writing Namor. What's that really mean?
I guess he basically just let it out that Namor is going to be in.
I know, right?
It's just like,
we got Namor in Avengers 5.
Fuck yeah, dude.
What's he really going to do? Who the fuck actually knows?
Hopefully not some 10-second fight at the end of the movie like in You Know What.
Yeah, I was just thinking about how that's been on Disney Plus for like a month, and I still just have not cared to go back and watch that movie.
Nah, not much.
And that'll kind of get me into another little point before I'll skip over this, but Black Panther 2, well, apparently was kind of shoddy on the CGI, particularly Ironheart. It's basically been coming out all over.
Go Power Rangers.
Yeah, actually, shit, I didn't even think of that.
Oh, and they even matched the budget, too. Interesting.
Crazy.
Huh. Oh, that was too mean.
Yeah, whatever.
Power Rangers VFX is atrociously all-time terrible.
Well, so was that
Marvel doesn't deserve that.
Well, they kind of do, because apparently it was the same team working on Ant-Man and Black Panther 2 pretty much at the same time.
Okay.
We've alluded to this in the past.
We've been talking about this the past couple episodes, so it's basically more and more is kind of spilling out about this.
Okay.
And it does kind of explain why, Ironheart looked like shit in Black Panther, and why MODOK, I thought, he kind of looked like shit.
I thought the whole concept was shit, to be honest. So, I mean, of how they were doing that character.
I don't know how true this is, but I've heard that Marvel has already updated the VFX for MODOK in theaters, where they've cleaned it up a little bit, because there's two images of MODOK in the same scene that's circulating, and they look completely different. Like, you can tell that there was a clear difference between the two.
Interesting.
So I think So that'd be interesting if they're already like in the middle of it being
It's
like, oh
possible.
shit, we're getting shit. Like clean it up.
I don't know. This article on the Direct for their MCU, like basically dedication website or whatever you want to call it. I guess that section of their website. They're saying that I guess the artists are claiming that they were working like 80 hours a week. They just didn't have enough time to really actually clean the stuff up.
Yeah. And
then all of that kind of then also adds to what I said about Feige's interview, and another thing I've seen all over the place is that that's kind of why the Marvels got pushed back, because apparently like they are just basically have came out and said it's so it can be in post-production longer so they can do more edits to clean the visual effects up.
Yeah, that's...
Because, I mean... When you guys really think about it, and you kind of like, you're watching these new movies, or even the television series, and you're just like, man, these VFX kind of shit.
Yeah.
And you go back and watch any old MCU movie, you like the movie or not, but I mean, the VFX were not like, you didn't sit there and nitpick the hell out of it, and we're like, oh god, that looks terrible. I personally don't remember off the top of my head.
I mean, I'm sure there's a time here and there, but you're going to have that with any studio, with any movie. I will say that there are definitely some VFX effects that feel dated for some older Marvel movies. But, but once again, you're going to have that with any movie in any studio. But overall, I agree. There has been this quality of VFX that Marvel always seemed to have, and now it seems like the blemishes are showing a little bit more the past phase or so.
It's definitely because they're overworked,
dude.
Yeah,
and especially with all the with all the people that really now when they made the CGI such a spectacle, like you said, where people are sitting back and they're taking it all in and they're fucking like, oh, that looks like shit. I mean, so yeah, like you said, with everything they're gonna have that, but the overwork, dude, 80 hours a week doing 2 different projects, keeping all that shit straight. Especially all the fucking as expensive it is to do all that shit and what they expect to get out of it.
Yeah, I mean, and it makes sense. All those stories that came out months ago that all like movies were getting delayed because all like VFX artists like industry wide were like overbooked and behind on stuff, and it's just like. I mean, I kind of joked about it in our Quantum Mania review. It's like, yeah, this movie alone was why VFX artists were backed up. Well, because it's just a big CGI fest.
I was going to say, well, you said, too, the what is it that you called it? The way they shot it, not a green screen. It's that.
The volume.
Yeah. Volume. Thank you. Yeah. I wanted to say the vault for some reason.
Honestly, that's kind of a cooler name for it.
So the volume.
Meet me on the vault.
This this real time engine that creates these images that, like you said, that you can definitely look at it and you're like, yeah, but I know that nothing's on the other side of it, It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, it looks so good, it's just hilariously fake.
Yeah.
It looks great, but it's hilariously fake.
Has no depth at all.
Obviously, we'll get more into a discussion on the news in this third one, but did not know that Mandalorian was actually, the basis, that show used it.
Yeah.
And that's why everyone was like, "Oh, well, fuck yeah, jump on that."
They were the one that kind of definitely pioneered it.
And then no one's really been able to replicate how good it looks for that show.
House of Dragon does a good job when they do.
Oh, I didn't realize. Okay,
there is. I'll have to look up what episode and what scene it is, but there's a really, really gorgeous scene where they use the volume and you can't tell one bit.
Well, yeah.
I literally I got told it. I learned it from a film podcast I listened to, and they brought it out that dude, this scene was on the volume, and I was like, that's amazing if that was on the volume, because that looked really, really good. But yeah, I agree. Mandalorian's the one that definitely kind of pioneered the technology and showed hey, this is what this is capable of. But now it's just kind of I feel like it's just being used too much as a crutch. It should be used as a tool, not a crutch.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I miss the old days when you were happy you got the effects. I miss those
That
days.
lightning looks like shit, but fuck yeah!
Yeah.
Ah!
No shit.
Unlimited power!
Give me Godzilla and that abomination that they did for all those years. Fucking god awful fucking animation.
Good lord. Other news, our girl Elizabeth Olsen was at Kuwait's Comfest Con.
Huh.
And she got a question about where she would like to take the story for Wanda. And she just said if she were to tell you exactly what she would want, then it would be spoiling something.
Hell yeah.
She coming back.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And she's no Mark Ruffalo or Tom Holland. She ain't spoiling shit.
God, Tom
Which
Holland.
kind of sucks, because I want to know so bad.
Somebody tell Tom something, damn it.
Right. Yeah.
Somebody spill the beans to
Someone
Tom.
tell her to talk to Tom Holland. Yeah.
Tell him the right
Yeah.
shit this time.
God, they do spoil. I know. It's so funny.
They're both terrible.
They're both terrible about it.
Dude, the classic interview where Don Cheadle gets Dude!
Yeah.
It's so
So good. So good.
Goes, oh, shit.
Dude. To say that?
Other quick news. So, Stephen Yen
Yes. From Walking Dead.
I think
from
that's
Walking
how you
Dead. Yeah, the dude who gets his eyes popped out. Casting Thunderbolts. Not real sure who he could be.
Interesting.
I like it, though. He's very talented.
He is
who
very,
could he-
very talented.
Who could he be? Well, I'll Google it. Stephen Yen.
He would make a pretty good, I feel like, hero. I don't know who he would play.
Yeah, there's no way. I could
Because he
never
also
see
voices Invincible, too.
I could never see him as a villain.
I don't know if you guys watch Invincible on Amazon Prime, but he voices Invincible.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
Have you watched
so-
that, Jeff?
No.
Oh, dude.
Okay, dude, okay. Here's my pitch to anybody who's never seen Invincible.
Let's hear it.
Watch the first episode all the way through.
Okay.
If you are not sold by the end of the episode, show's not for you.
Yeah.
10-4.
And it's like the most, like, comic book thing ever.
It's awesome.
It's
What's it on?
awesome.
And
Amazon Prime.
Prime. Okay.
Simmons, J. Jonah Jameson, he
Yes.
voices Invincible's dad in that show,
Yeah.
and he is
Yeah.
awesome.
Fuck yeah, I'll check it out. Fuck yeah.
But yeah, he'd make a good hero, but I almost wonder if he could be the villain in this, because I don't know if he wants to voice a hero and then play another hero, and I almost wonder if he'd want to diversify a little bit and play a hero and then maybe a villain.
I just don't know how I can see him.
Well, a lot of the rumor, I
portraying
think,
a
is
villain.
the antagonist of the movie is it? I think it's Hyperion. Is that the man-made
That one goes around, and then there's Sentry too.
Sentry? Yeah. So maybe he is.
So that would be because that would be kind of weird,
know.
because it's possible, but he essentially plays like Superman in Invincible, so it'd be kind of weird to him then also to kind of basically play the same character again in Marvel. That's why I'm kind of leaning towards villain, unless
Maybe
he's just gonna play like an agent or something like that. I mean, that's possible too, but I kind of hope he gets like a villain or at least an antagonist role in this. I think that'd be kind of cool to see him in that role, because I don't think we've seen him in that type of role. He's always like a really, really good, nice guy.
Yeah, either a good, nice guy or he has his moments of rage.
This
you know, that's
Forbes
what I'm
article.
looking
This
for.
Forbes article is saying a theory is that he could be playing the Korean American heritage Amadeus Cho, a genius who becomes a new version of the Hulk called Brawn.
That would be dope. That I could see.
That, so as much as I wouldn't necessarily be kind of hyped for that, because
You just don't want to see him.
I don't want to see
heroes.
I just don't want to see a bunch of Hulks running around like
Right.
that kind of
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
like we're already gonna get Red Hulk with Thunderbolt Ross, and that kind of just like takes away we already got She-Hulk too. That just kind of like takes away what makes them special in a way. You just have a bunch of other Hulks running. So what makes Hulk special? Nothing, because there's 5 other Hulks running around.
True.
Like but it would make sense, because I mean Red Hulk's going to be in it, so he could be an antagonist to Red Hulk in a way. Mm-hmm. So it kind of makes sense, but I kind of hope it's something different, just because I just don't want to see like 20 different Hulks running
the
around.
same shit.
But
10
that's just
different
me.
shows.
Yeah.
But that's really cool. He's a great actor, so
Yeah.
I'll be intrigued to see what he does come out as.
I'd like to see him as in his Doctor Genius role more so than even the Hulk role, because he's awesome. He's really good. He has a lot of depth to his acting. So maybe a character we can actually, build around that we can take from Thunderbolts and spread it out, because him in Walking Dead, shit, he carried how many seasons probably?
I mean, shoot, he's the reason a lot of people left the show.
It's true.
I've heard so many people that have just been like, yeah, after they,
It was him and Maggie.
I left.
Him and Maggie, right?
I think so.
Wasn't those the two that got married?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, people loved him.
Yeah, as soon as he was gone, they were like, yep, they did the SpongeBob meme. I'm out.
Yeah, I'm out. Yeah,
I'll just tell you guys right now, you'll probably hate me for it. Never got into that show.
I will admit I never got into it heavily.
I tried.
I
did
watched
try.
the first few seasons because our boy TC, he loved that show.
So many people loved
He always
it.
kept trying to get me to watch it. I'm like, dude, I don't like zombie shows. Like, zombies to me are lame as shit. Unless it's The Last of Us related,
that's my problem. Yeah.
I'm not interested.
And that's funny too. So I was at work today, and like this guy, he was telling another coworker of mine about Last of Us, and she's like, how, Kevin tells me to watch it all the time too, and he goes, yeah, it's great. He goes, I thought it was going to be like just a more lame Walking Dead, and he goes, no, it's far above and beyond better.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just like, yeah.
Yeah, The Walking Dead was kind of an interesting project to begin with, because I don't think they anticipated how much it would grow in popularity, because so many people like Resident Evil, they like that style of zombie, which I think is absolutely
Walking Dead is good because it's post-apocalyptic, and it actually more tries to relate to what it would be like to just be like living in that world.
Yeah,
if that makes
I also
sense.
kind of feel like The
First-person
Walking
view
Dead
almost.
was more about like
survive.
just how humans would interact with each other. Like, the zombies were shit. I'm gonna be honest. The zombies were shit. Like, they were so inconsistent. That's usually my problem with zombie shit. Is you got some that can't, and then all of a sudden you got that one's like, they got like superhuman speed, and then you got some that you got to crush them in with a bat, and then you got another one that you got them SUVs where it's got like that halfway window that like pops up. There's an episode where they like destroy and just gush a zombie's head in that thing. I'm like, dude, no fucking way. No way did that thing squish like a gusher with that stupid window.
News is involved into this.
Yeah,
It's still comic book related technically.
They were mostly
I don't really have much left.
They were mostly shamblers anyway in Walking Dead. They're just like that's the thing is, for me, I'm a zombie traditionalist. I don't like okay, I will say that loosely, because I think that 28 days later and 28 weeks later, and those zombies, because 28 days later, if you tell me it's a bad movie, I will knock you.
No,
the fuck
I
out.
believe a lot of people love that movie.
It's incredible. It's in my opinion, one of the greater actual horror movies of our time.
Okay.
Like, our time specifically, and those aren't zombies; they're infected.
Yeah, okay.
I'm like, bring me back to Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
Like, bring me back to Night of the Living Dead. Bring me Romero. These are the zombie movies that I like, and that's why I like the Resident Evil series games, because obviously you get your creatures.
He saved it there. Real quick, he saved it there.
Those games.
I thought he was about to say, I was going to be like, ooh,
No.
don't say that.
No, as far as I'm
There's
concerned.
no coming back from that.
As far as I'm concerned.
Bull, I know what I said about Spider-Man 3 earlier, but relax, man.
Right.
Listen,
I'll give you the very first one. That's all you get.
I don't even give
That's all
them
you
that.
get.
I don't even give
I do.
them
I like the first one.
I didn't like any of them.
But the rest are...
Dude, they're so far from the books and the games that
They're more campy than fucking superhero movies.
They're terrible.
I
Got
mean,
Mila Jovovich in
they're
those.
terrible.
I mean, give me a fucking break, dude. I mean, she's operating this entire time while she's infected and being tracked by fucking Umbrella, and they're tracking her all over the world, and they're fucking shooting her with all these fucking guns and shit, and she just happens to survive. And then, of course, she's getting fucking blown up in fucking helicopters with fucking Albert Wesker, who's all of a sudden now just some superhuman, and it's not even fucking consistent with anybody.
They kind of skipped over the part where he does put the T-virus into himself. Yes,
right.
I feel like you're as passionate about hating those movies as I am the Last Airbender movie.
Oh, dude.
and Dragon Ball Evolution.
Dude, I'm
I
telling you.
vehemently hate those two movies.
Bro, I'm telling you right now, I read those. I read all the Resident Evil books before I turned 11. Like, I loved those fucking things because...
That's some dark fiction for a young lad.
Well, hey, my brother was doing nothing but what? Playing Resident Evil 1, 2, 3 in front of me when I was a kid. You know, I would fake sick to stay home from school to watch him play those games when I was a real little kid. And
That's
dude,
awesome.
I ate that shit up. And I remember I used to go to the comic book store down by Big Lots, the little one down there. They had all the books there, paperback, and I'd fucking go down and buy fucking many as I could at a time. I read the shit out of them. And then I saw fucking Mila Jovovich fucking fillet my favorite fucking childhood video game and book series on that fucking bullshit, jumping through fucking windows on a motorcycle.
Dude, that scene is so fucking... In the second one, that scene is so bad.
With the liquors in the church?
That scene is so fucking terrible.
Dude, give me a
I recently, within the last year, watched all of them out of pure boredom, and rewatching the second one, I was like, holy shit, this is terrible.
That was Nemesis, right?
Yes, that's the one where they do Nemesis, and that church scene is fucking awful.
The only
Like I said, those movies... Again,
awful.
The very first one, I will admit, the first one I thought was really good and very well done for what it was. But then you have the second one, and all of a sudden she's a fucking super soldier going toe-to-toe with Nemesis, and...
Just not right.
It's bad.
It never didn't happen. That movie didn't fucking happen. Like you know what? Like, you know, when we bitch...
The other four didn't either, because they're just as fucking terrible.
No, dude, no. None of it happened. None of that shit happened. None of it. Didn't turn to this fucking desert planet where she's riding around on a motorcycle getting gas from God knows where.
Well, they're in Nevada in that one.
Well...
that at least makes sense. Well, that part makes sense.
Right. Well, the only cool part of the entire fucking series is the fact that Nemesis still says, stars. And that's it. That's the only thing that I liked about the second one, especially. Let alone anything in that fucking series, because they did Wesker like a fucking dipshit. Wesker was this fucking superhuman freak that fucking could just like stretch Armstrong and shit. And I can't remember all this shit he can do. Remember when he fucking gets all twisted up and beat to shit and he just gets up and's fine. Gets shot, good. Stabbed, good. Cut his head off, probably put it back on, sew it.
It's in the third or the...
I can't remember which one. It's the one on the boat.
Afterlife?
That's the one on the boat. I think it is Afterlife.
She fights him when they go way underground, yes.
There's that one. This one is the one where they're on the boat, on that like aircraft carrier where they have like all the people like put in test tubes and shit.
Yeah.
Remember when they go into that fucking like his throne room because he's sitting on a fucking throne.
Yeah, he's sitting on a throne.
In the boat, down in the brig. Okay. Let me just explain how stupid that sounds.
Well, you
already did. Already did. Don't need to elaborate. Here we are. Those didn't happen. So there's all these times we can talk about movies where we're like, oh, dude, I hated that fucking thing because it wasn't comically accurate. I hated this shit because it was CGI horseshit. No. I hate these movies because they never fucking happened at any point in this Resident Evil universe.
It is Afterlife, and then, he gets the... Because that movie came out around the time when I think for the games it was either 5 or 6 had come out, and then the games got weird too, where like you blow their heads off and then all of a sudden they'd sprout out fucking goddamn tentacles and shit, and like he does that in the movie. It like comes out of his mouth and like Predator looking mouth, and I remember, and he's dodging shit like he's Neo, and
dude, Passcode Veronica, it's all bullshit. let's
it's all bullshit.
It's all bullshit, dude. I mean, most of the Resident Evil series is like a political drama, like from like different parts of Umbrella and like unraveling inside, and like they'll like go and they'll touch on certain areas and but there's still like people around, like. You know, obviously it's a post-apocalyptic type of situation, but for the most part, most of the books deal in between Umbrella factions and, you know, and obviously resistance aspects and stuff like that. But
and then it's so dumb. Just real quick, like he injects Alice with a cure to take away her superpowers, and then in the very next movie, I think he gives them right back. Like right back in the very beginning of the movie.
Like quick, hot turnaround.
I believe that's straight up what happens.
Pretty much.
I can't remember if it's actually a placebo or not, and
Isn't it because they can control her again or something?
Oh, maybe that was why they did it.
Because they
remember.
snagged her up and they were trying to make more of her and shit, I think. Remember? Is that what it is?
That was the end of the third one is when they find out when she finds out she had all these clones.
That's right.
And then the afterlife is when you realize what they were doing with her clones, and they were literally trying to like basically make another Alice that would be under their control.
And then she just takes them all, and then an army of Alices goes down into a hive type of place, like from the first Resident Evil, and just fucking annihilates all these Umbrella Corporation employees.
And that's when she fights Wesker.
And then at the end, after saving them all, and they're all helping her, and she's in love with them all, because they're like, oh, it's me, it's an image of me. She fucking blows them up.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. God, those movies are terrible. All right.
I'm definitely labeling that topic. Bull hates the Resident Evil movies.
Yeah, we went on for like 15 minutes there.
But I will say, by the way, to end that, new series on Netflix, Resident Evil, it actually is good.
Oh, see, I thought that got shit on too.
Some people shit on it, some people liked it. But for me, I enjoyed it.
Didn't it get really shit on?
Well, because a lot of people hated it because it had a black Wesker in it. A lot of people hated that.
But that's my boy from... That's Zavala. That's my boy. The voice of Zavala.
And I fucking...
Yeah.
No, dude, that guy's a baller. How do you hate when he's in anything?
That's what I'm saying.
Lance Reddick, I think.
He's in one of the greatest TV series of all time, Fringe.
Dude,
and he's a G in that show.
So he's Wesker, and his two daughters, they're like creations of Umbrella. And like they've been getting treated and all this shit for all of their upbringing, and that's kind of the basis for how it starts. And they're in like this Umbrella like gated community.
Audience score on Rotten is 65.
I thought it was
critics
really
didn't like it too much.
Critics don't like fucking anything.
That's true.
Yeah, Rotten Tomatoes sucks. I said it.
That's also true.
I hate them. I think it's like if their score is relatively low, I know I'll probably like it. Like it's almost like clockwork. But anyway.
Yeah, I guess speaking of Rotten Tomatoes scores.
Yeah, man, went back up a little bit. Just needed Eternals to keep that staple as worst critically reviewed. And speaking of, its sequel and the Shang-Chi sequel just got thrown on Marvel's calendar, apparently. And I think they're speeding up production on Shang-Chi, which makes sense because it was...
fucking awesome.
That's one of my favorite MCU movies to watch.
Probably the best movie to come out of Phase 4.
Almost without a shadow of doubt.
Oh, yeah.
From Marvel.
That's
Marvel
what I
Studios.
said. I think when we reviewed that phase, I said that was my top one.
I'm pretty sure I was the same, too. I think we all might have been.
Might have been.
That or it was tied with Spider-Man, and again,
I can't remember.
Pure nostalgia with Spider-Man.
I'll say if we were including No Way Home, I would have had No Way Home number one.
I think we did. And
so Shang-Chi might have been 2 for me then.
Yeah, probably was for me as well. But yeah, so those sequels are full on go. Shang-Chi, I guess, was originally supposed to come on the February 2025 date. Before Marvel moved things around, and then now that date is filled by the Fantastic Four movie. I only saw it. I think it's being heavily theorized just because of, if you like, I brought it up, the Kang rings in the Quantum Realm basically look just like the Ten Rings.
Yeah.
So people are wondering if, like, he will be able to do some, like, time travel bullshit with the rings for getting other variant purposes to help fight old Big Bad.
I mean, it's got to be connected because the way it even ends with the post-credit scene when they mentioned that the rings were like sending out a signal or something like that.
Yes. Yeah. From very far away.
And then they also said that like it wasn't anything like.
Captain Marvel says it's nothing like related to like these. I mean, you basically deduce that she's talking about some ancient alien race.
Yeah, right, because it was like something that they couldn't recognize. But it would also make sense then if it's connected to Kang, because they wouldn't recognize the technology if it's from the far future.
It's technically from the far future.
And that would seem also like...
And again, like we were talking about too, with the end credit scene of Ant-Man, they did show Rama Tut, and the whole part about Shang-Chi is that like the father got the rings 5,000 years in the past or some crazy shit. So it's like, okay, so did the Rama Tut travel way back in time in the main timeline of the... Is it 616?
Yeah, the main one, yeah.
So, did he travel way back in time in the 616 universe? Like, that canonized Kang variant became Rama Tut and then met Mandarin to give him the rings. Is, like, the big question there.
I haven't seen Miss Marvel, the TV show yet, but
The bangle
we talked about this last week, too, about the bangles potential, too, but I saw the screenshot of when the bangles got found, and it's on a blue arm, someone with a blue arm.
Right.
So then when I saw that this week, I was like, interesting.
Yes, yeah.
I was like, yeah, it's all connecting, yes.
Well, and the thing, too, about, so in the Ms. Marvel show, like, spoilers, the whole thing about that is that this bangle can open a portal to this dimension where these other people who look like humans, where they're really from. And, like, the whole thing about the first half of that show is they're trying to get that bangle to open the portal, but the thing is like, they can't control it, and if it stays open, or it's basically going to destroy the Earth or some shit. But it could make sense that maybe it's some gateway through the whole quantum shit that just leads into an area where maybe Kang was.
Like I said,
or a variant of Kang was.
I haven't seen it, but can't she use the bangles to, like, time travel too in the show? Doesn't she, like?
So it does happen.
So there's something wonky going on with them.
Yeah.
Real wonky.
Timey-wimey stuff.
Wibbly-wobbly.
Yeah. But then... So Eternals 2, they placed on their calendar, but it's apparently going to come out even after Secret Wars, which...
Why do they always show up after the big disasters that they should have?
Yeah, that's what I don't like. If they're really doing that, that's just, I'm going to say, fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
Kids.
Yeah. It is stupid to me. I'll say that maybe hopefully we'll get some of the Eternals. Like, get Thena in there in Secret Wars. And, like, the Speedster, and then Barry Connigan's dude.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't have to have Cersei and Kingo and, I think Thaddeus is his name.
So I would be really, really surprised if, once again, none of the Eternals show up in either Kang Dynasty or Secret Wars.
Yeah.
And then they just have their second movie just after it all.
Yeah,
Why is this franchise even a thing at this point?
Well,
just
why would you have them around and in, like, this cosmic background, which doesn't make sense. It's like, well, you had Guardians out in the universe, and they still showed up and were a part of Infinity War and Endgame.
Yep.
And they're going to probably be a part of Kang Dynasty and
you would think
Secret
the fucking
Wars.
Eternals could make a guest spot.
Yeah.
Although is their thing where they're not allowed to enter? What is their thing? Their code? They're not supposed to, like.
They're not supposed to interfere with the human race, but they do anyway in the movie.
Directly.
They save them.
Yeah.
They save them from Tiamat just blowing the Earth up.
This announcement was so weird this week. When I saw that, I was just like. What an odd random time to announce.
I just saw the date and I was like, God damn, that's stupid.
That's confusing.
It is.
Yeah.
But that's all I really had about old Marvel.
The Marvel to the Star Wars.
Star Wars.
The unlimited power.
Unlimited. No, so, all right. So,
yeah.
So,
okay.
Next week, obviously, the big news. Next Wednesday, March 1st, Mando Season 3.
This is
premieres. The way. However, I will curtail that with some disappointing news that it is the shortest Star Wars premiere episode to date.
And this is why Disney Plus always pisses me off. I am so sick of this
Bummer.
28 to 37 minutes tops episodes. Get the fuck out of here. Give us some real, actual, girthy episodes like HBO Max and everybody else.
Agreed.
Give us the good gobbledygook.
And you know what? And that's the thing that kind of surprises me is that I think it was like well over an hour on the season 2 premiere, and now we're dropping to 38 minutes and change. I mean,
maybe we'll get surprised and we'll just drop 2 episodes.
That's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
But I saw that the release schedule didn't have 2 together, so that's why I was like, I don't think there's a mid-season break.
How many
yet.
episodes are there?
Pretty sure it's 8.
God damn it.
Pretty sure.
Why can't they just make 10?
Well, here's the thing, man.
But I guess
To follow that up, Favreau came out. Season 4 is already written.
That
and he also said there's no ending in sight, right?
Right.
Yeah, he's just like, we're just gonna keep going. It's
Yeah,
like,
dude.
oh, okay.
Fucking why not?
I mean,
John Wick the shit.
That
out
part
of
I'm
it.
cool with.
John
Just
Wick
make
the
your
shit out of
shit.
it.
Just make your content longer,
Dude, if John Wick they'll make those as long as people will watch them, dude.
oh fuck yeah.
John Wick the fuck out of it, dude. If Mando's rolling and
I can't
fucking
believe I'm gonna say this, but are you saying to also maybe fast it for family?
For family.
Because there's fucking 10 of them.
family. Yes.
Yes.
But yes. No, so obviously next week will be a lot more content to talk about with Mando. Went back a couple of weeks ago. During I can't remember exactly. It was in some IGN fest in mid-February. They did release that Jedi Survivor gameplay. Finally got a chance to sit down and actually watch some of that this week. And dude, it looks so crispy. Just how far we've come with these fucking video games, dude. Like when I think back of playing like fucking NFL Blitz,
I feel like
and I was like hype, dude.
I feel like that game's definitely being run on Unreal 5. So that's why you're seeing that. Like,
very good.
Just the fucking the depth of the shots that they have and the detail that it has in the distance. I mean, just that, dude, it looks so good. And then the movements. Even when he's running on like the walls, like when you do like that kind of like
when he's doing the Prince of Persia,
yeah. It just like even when he puts his hand on the wall, like you can see his hand like fully, like naturally, like it would start at the fingertips and roll down to his palm when he's running. It's like you see those small things and like biomechanically correct running and jumping. Dude, it's just so impressive. I can't wait for that to come out, and I'll wait the 6 weeks, but no fucking more.
We just need to figure out how to get these damn tickets and go out to LA for old
celebration,
Star Wars night,
celebration and shit, dude.
Yeah,
I thought
celebrations in London, because that
right.
changes a global destination every year.
Yeah, because that was Anaheim last year.
Yes, last year it was all in Anaheim at Disneyland. Right. Yeah, but regardless, we just need to go out to Disneyland and Anaheim and.
Yeah,
I don't know. I've heard that it's awesome there. So.
Come on, Star Wars, send us free tickets to go.
Come on, Disney.
Hey, we'll talk about it right here.
Right here.
But obviously excited. And that is true. We do need to make our way out there at some point. We just got to go to a con together, guys. We got to figure something out.
I mean, we could
go
to. I mean, Peoria hasn't.
Yeah. Honestly,
con, so.
There's cons go on all the time hey, we're not just into Marvel, DC, and Star Wars here, guys. Like, we like anime, too.
Oh, yeah.
There's shit tons of anime cons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, the cons go around all the time. Now, how big they are, yeah, they're not big. But,
right.
I mean, you'd probably go and, you might see some...
Still a good time.
Shit, even like Wizard World up in fucking Milwaukee. Or it was in Milwaukee, I think. Yeah, dude, that one was
Is it bad that I'd love to just go and then kind of shit on, like, content creators and influencers and shit?
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's horrible. I shouldn't do that.
Considering that's what we do.
Well, yeah, but we're not famous yet, damn it.
We're punching up, not punching down.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, get the hell off. I'm coming up the mountain.
Coming up.
I'm Sparta kicking your ass off of this shit.
For family.
For family.
But,
specifically just our family, not yours.
just
that's how we would be. Yeah, I'd love to. So we could look at that and
we'll figure something out, I'm sure, soon. And then we'll talk about it on here and let you know how it goes.
Exactly. That's how I feel. It's like we could just
and we can, show off, because obviously I love to go to those things and spend every fucking free dollar I have on art and everything else. Fucking collectibles and everything I can get my fucking hands on.
Well, I mean, if we go to Star Wars night, you figure, $500, whatever it costs on a real lightsaber alone.
Of course.
Yeah, because, I mean, you can't just show up with the toy from Walmart.
Bro, if I go to one of those, if I go to one of those, it's going to be 100% combat ready. Like
I was going to say, yeah, like we're going to be the jackasses that have combat ready ones and yell at everyone else, like, give us some in room, we're going to fight!
We're in the middle of fucking Star Wars night.
Yeah.
And
you are trying to do this? You're not a real fan like we are.
Yeah.
You know, that's that's us idiots.
Yes.
Dude, I think those combat ready ones are like, some of them can get up to like almost $1,000.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think base level you're thinking $300-400.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's basically like pure unbreakable plastic that you can swing as hard as you fucking want.
I know you guys are familiar with Star Wars Theory. He had one that was like really nice, but you could even you could change like the colors, the sounds to like all
saber
the different
effects.
characters.
It's Saber Effects. They make a soundboard that goes in the hill.
Yeah, it was sweet.
It's like
I was like,
it's cool.
That's the thing. That's why it's so expensive. Is the shit is literally all handmade manual labor. Like you're paying a guy to like weld a hilt to house this soldered on soundboard and light up the giant plastic tube and. And again, also, it's pretty much almost unbreakable for the combat-ready ones. Like, they really are like...
training swords.
I think they're they're basically like the actual movie prop caliber training sword that you can just sit there and just...
like y'all back and forth.
Swing an old green around.
Swing an old green. Fuck yeah. But no, we got a lot of things that we need to do, and we've been talking about getting out and doing different things lately. So
we'll figure it out probably later in the year.
Yeah, maybe PeoriaCon coming. That's coming up. That's in March.
I say I can't. Let's say it's either coming up or it just happened. I can't remember.
Yeah, I didn't know we had one.
We do every year.
Yeah,
and it's decent too. It's starting to build.
Well, let's go to that then.
I've heard it's not a bad con. I've heard it's actually like pretty decent. Like it's not gonna be anything like the big boys.
Put it this way, it's right over there. We don't have to spend anything on a hotel.
Bingo.
We know where we want to go to eat food.
Bingo.
I mean, we might as well go.
Speaking my language.
Bingo.
We might as well actually go to that.
Quad Cities has one.
Maybe we can.
That wouldn't be bad.
Maybe if we can go, we can bring the camera and stuff and get some footage of it, and maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
If we run into maybe people we know or anything, do interviews with content creators. I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know who. Oh, they do get voice actors and stuff to come to the. So.
I mean, they get and dude, if you go to places like C2E2, bro.
I want to go to C2E2.
Yeah, you brought that one.
Bad.
Well, and he's brought that one up to me a lot before in the past, and it's like how we do. We bullshit about it and fabricate the idea, but we don't pull the trick. We don't do it. We need to just do it.
I went with Jamie and her daughter, and they had never been to anything like that before, and I couldn't find anybody at the time to go with me, and I just went up. I was like, I'm going. I don't give a shit. You guys can come. You guys can do whatever the hell you want, but I'm going to this thing. And I went Saturday and Sunday, dude. I got to sit down with what's his name?
The PeoriaCon's cheap.
I know.
It's $10.
I know.
We're just gonna do this.
When is it?
It's a weekend, March 3rd through the 5th.
Bingo again.
Could probably do it that Saturday.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Well, I know you work on your stuff, but I don't know. You probably let us know.
I mean, it's in.
Or you two let me know.
Yeah, we'll figure something out.
It's not far, so.
I'm not tied down to shit. So.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Is it both days? Is it 2 days?
It's 3. It's 3rd, 4th, and 5th is what it's saying is next show. But then all these people, I guess, is on the 4th and the 5th, which makes sense. Oh, I guess it's just 2 days. Why does it say March 3rd through 5th up there? Then down here it's just...
Maybe they've got some events or something planned for one night, like an intro or something, maybe.
They have a cosplay contest.
Dude, when I was up in C2E2, dude, who's the guy that played the Night King originally? That was in like 3 from Hell in Rob Zombie's movie, and he played that officer in Mandalorian. That really kind of like skinny looking guy with the long blonde hair.
Yeah, so who the hell is?
Fuck.
Is it? I'm struggling to even know who you're referring to.
I gotta look her up. Dude, I'm telling you, he's Let's see, 3 from Hell actors. And I'll see, as soon as I see it, I'll know.
Jesus.
Richard Brake.
Sorry, this is
This
like
guy.
legitimately the girl who's gonna be there at PeoriaCon, so I'm just like,
This dude.
oh
okay,
yeah,
Dude, I got to chill and have a beer with him.
Really?
Yeah,
he's
dude.
in a
Isn't that
He's in
Rorschach in Watchmen?
Yeah.
no,
No, he looks like him,
No.
doesn't he?
no, he's not Rorschach from Watchmen.
He looks
no.
like that guy.
you
But,
sure?
That's fuck, what is his name?
but the dude, I walked around. I think it was on Sunday.
Wait, are you saying Watchmen the movie? Correct.
The
Masterpiece.
the Snyder movie. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the goat. Yeah.
Yes.
But I walked around his.
That movie's criminally underrated.
I walked
Yep.
around his booth and I looked over and he was just sitting there.
Yeah.
Like, just by himself.
Here's Jackie Earl Haley. That's Rorschach.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
But he was sitting there and I look at him and he goes, I had 2 beers in my hand. And he goes, because I was just sipping, walking. And he goes, "You gonna drink both of those? Can I bum one?" And I look at him, I was like, "Holy shit!" and he's sitting in front of all these pictures of like the Night King because he was originally the Night King, and they got recast. So he was originally the Night King, and then he was also had his pictures of him in 3 from Hell, that Rob Zombie movie that dropped. He was cool dude. Just sat there, shot the shit. His guy came back and he's like, "You want any signatures, autographs on anything?" I was like, "No." I was like, "I'm good, man." I was just sitting there shooting the stuff with him, and he goes, "Matter of fact," signed off on one. I got it in there of him as the Night King. It's pretty sweet. But dude, you run into. I mean, they have panels 24 hours a day almost. It's like they go from ass crack in the morning till midnight.
Jesus.
And there's always a panel going. There's always live signings going, meet and greets all the time. But you gotta wait fucking mile-long lines to talk to the most,
Gotcha.
people that, people want to see.
Well, I mean,
most.
for $10, I'd be willing to go Saturday.
Fuck yeah.
Let's do it. Let's plan it. Bring the camera. Get some footage.
And we got cameras in our pockets at all times, too.
Yeah, that too.
It's true.
Multiple angles.
Yes, sir. But last thing for Star Wars, back on
multiple
Star
angles.
Wars.
KP's just. Never mind. We'll see about that.
The bad buy.
Are you talking about the? Okay, yeah. Well, I was like, because there's all this shit on here that. I won't get into it. We'll talk about it off camera.
Fair enough.
It's a very questionable, pro cosplayer, as they're labeling it. It's okay.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah.
Like-
I'll show you in a second.
Okay.
Yeah. Off camera.
Fair enough.
Yeah, we're terrible people.
But we
Yeah.
got the badge.
Yeah,
bias.
the bad
Oh no.
badge.
Oh man.
Oh no.
Well, we were talking before you got here a little bit and about the batch because I did this week was very guilty of putting it on and watched about 15, maybe 10 minutes of
Then you
it.
turned it off and went and did something else.
I was just on my phone. Well, I was just on my phone, and then I had to rewatch from that point on today to get caught up with it. And
I honestly last night watched it and I was like, oh yeah, shit, I gotta watch this for tomorrow.
I know.
Because I actually started it Wednesday, got about 5 in, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to do something else.
Yeah.
And then last night I was like, oh shit, I gotta finish that.
Yeah, it's. I mean, we were talking, and at least there was some sort of semblance that the last episode or a previous episode mattered in this one.
It's
I'll
just
say, yeah, this is the first episode in a few weeks that I actually didn't mind. I don't think I picked up my phone up actually in this episode.
okay.
Because I was like, because
What-
like he kind of
what-
alluded to it, I was like, oh, finally, we're picking up a thread from last week's episode and continuing on.
Mm-hmm.
Great, I have something I can actually like grasp onto and follow rather than just another adventure of the week that's just gonna be pointless and not mean anything.
Right.
Like at least like.
Another nondescript planet. Another nondescript planet.
At least this episode was about them like going and getting their ship back, and
Yeah.
I talked to him about earlier. Like I at least really like the scene where Omega
There we
is
Well done.
getting dangled off the edge, and then she sees the hunters coming up to save her,
That was pretty
and
sick,
she's just like, oh. It just falls back and showed the trust that they have and the chemistry. So I was like, oh, that was kind of baller of her. Just be like, oh, Hunter's coming up. Yep, yank.
Yeah. And to that point, that's what we were talking about.
She almost found love in a hopeless place.
Oh yeah, Benny Boy.
Yeah,
old Benny Boy. And then, oh god, that fucking song. It just went through my head. But no, they fuck. What's his name? I lost it. It's gone.
Benny or Mako?
It's gone.
Oh,
it's gone. Oh,
see, you remember the names better than I don't even fucking remember the names.
No, the connection between Tech and Omega. That you're starting to see him develop into an actual person instead of a computer.
Oh yeah, like he's actually developing emotions.
Yeah, that's like basically the main redeeming quality of this season is that Tech has an actual personality.
Yeah,
they differentiated Echo and Tech this season because they were kind of the same redundant characters last season.
And so they split them. They split them up. Yep. And they're starting to give one emotion.
Yep.
That's okay.
Yeah, it needed to happen. Mm-hmm. I mean, because we talked about that shit 20 episodes ago where we're like, they're kind of the same.
Yeah, they pretty much are.
One's a droid and one's a person who acts like a droid.
I just kind of get tired of. I'm just kind of tired of this already with this because it doesn't seem like it's really going anywhere.
Right.
And then to hit the nail on the head more is like the end of this episode is like the whole statement of like there's more than just the Empire out there that are our enemies.
Right.
And it's like and there's a lot more people out there that are also just like us. And I was like, oh great, sweet,
thank God.
So this is just gonna. That basically to me was like, okay, cool. This is going to delve into the whole. Yeah, I mean, they're going to probably get into other situations with other factions, other, different forces that are in the whole galaxy of the thing that they'll be at odds with. But I don't know. I'm just. Kind of find myself asking why am I watching this? But
no, I agree with you.
Outside of, we review it.
And I agree with you. Honestly, I think that the redeeming quality of last season, the first season, that made it so good was that it took place during a time that was so familiar.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've been there a million times. We've been through Order 66 how many fucking times? I mean, that is a familiar spot for us. And then, they getting out, we're seeing Tarkin. We're seeing all these people that we were used to seeing, and then this season it's like, I remember them.
Yeah.
Who the
I
fuck
think
are
it'd
these
be
people?
cool if, like, I don't know, just...
And if you're going to bring people in, build them up.
And especially, too, I think it'd be cool if they could do anything with them, like, coming across, like, Pikes or, like... Just Maul himself, like, because he is still around.
Yep.
I mean, they can just anything with like the criminal underground because they're half-assed involved with it anyway with Sid.
Yeah.
So
Crimson Dawn.
Yeah. Or that actually they could like kind of in a way make Crimson Dawn the antagonists to them.
That'd be incredible.
To like at least give us some background to how Crimson Dawn came to be.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't really Crimson Dawn during the end of the Clone Wars again. Like he was just on Mandalore. Lady Tano fucked him up. Beat his ass.
Sure did. Sure did.
And then it's just kind of open-ended that, eventually Maul just got back with all his Pikes and all the criminal underground and made Crimson Dawn. It's like, oh, okay, which we only know because of Solo. So if we had, even if you could give me something with that, but just this kind of just bullshit of like, adventure here, adventure over there.
New villain every week. He lives and he's born and he dies every week. That's how it's felt like for these criminals. Every week, the main baddie of every episode is born and he dies, and all you know is how his interaction is with the batch.
The only redeeming quality of, I guess, the villain of this week is he definitely took inspiration from the Empire and Andor, because of how he paid out his workers. Top earner this week gets the most food. You get taste today.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I kind of did like that little nod. How it's like he kind of this like. I mean, he's basically a slave owner, and I basically
pretty much. Yeah.
It basically like took his inspiration to how the Empire runs their prisons or jails. I
Well, it's
kind
just
of like that little detail.
It's just like, well, and it's literally just like Force Awakens. Like 50 portions.
Yeah.
Like it's the same thing. It's like they're not slaves, but they basically are because they gotta work to get food from him.
And then they have this like warped perception of reality, like how Benny did, how he like looked up to Mako or whatever in the beginning. Yeah. It was just like, nah, dude, like that guy's a piece of shit.
Just no, dude, this guy's an asshole.
It makes you guys like fight over one bowl with each of your own a spoon each. Right. Like you guys are spilling half of that at that point.
Which yes, his eyes get open because Omega is just like, here, you want my ration? Here, just have my chocolate candy bar. Yeah, so that's what they look like to me.
Yeah, agreed.
I mean,
I don't know what that is, but yeah, this space looks like a space Hershey's.
It's a space churro that's got protein in it.
Hell yeah. Sign me up.
Tell me I'm wrong, Mark Hamill.
Yeah, next year you'll see that being served at all of your Disneyland and Disney World Star Wars locations.
Yes.
Gross. 6.5. That's what I give this episode. 6.5. 6.
Yeah, 6.
That's what I got.
5.
6.
Shit, I don't know.
It's an okay
6.
episode.
I got 6.
6. It's okay.
It's okay.
Again, like you said, I'll give you that. I'll give it this. Yes, you're right. They at least picked the thread up from a prior episode, and it kind of like was a continuation. And had to be, but still, they at least did it. So.
And they at least showed some of Benny's, like his development as a peon. And they show him kind of start to realize that there's a world outside, even though he doesn't want to go there.
And I mean, and there were parallels between his arc and Omega's too, about how like that's the only home he's ever known. When she Kamino, that's why I thought it was kind of odd that she went to the ship. Like it made sense, but like she also came from a planet that was also the only place she ever knew as well until recently. Yeah. But I kind of liked how their stories kind of mirrored in a way, and she kind of gets them out like, well, I got out of my shell and.
Yeah.
And whatever, so you can too. So
right, it's true.
Yeah.
Message. Always a message.
Should we get to the show that actually gets the blood pumping, where we leave our phones on the chargers and forget about them?
That's about right.
The Last of Us.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it.
I've been waiting for this episode.
I knew this episode was coming because. Yeah, I mean, I think there's certain things about the story that I think were always spoiled for me, but yeah.
I
want to ask you so bad, because I know you know, but I don't want you to just spoil it for us and the audience, because I don't know, but...
Oh, that was the very first question that got asked me after the episode was over.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Just immediately just like, is he? And I was like, I guess you're going to have to tune in. And then, dude, did you guys... when they showed the preview for next week's episode?
I didn't watch it. I always turn it off.
Oh, so basically next week's episode. So it's going to be a flashback episode of Ellie before. Like it'll be her and like a friend. She alluded to the story earlier about going to the mall with a friend.
Oh, yeah.
I'll say this then.
So, of course, that character that she's wondering about isn't in the preview because he wasn't there then. So she was extra pissed then because she.
So I'll ask this then. Apparently.
So you're still not going to get the answer next week.
Oh, I know, I know. But I will ask this: that the show is supposed to cover both games, right?
Well, I don't know if this season will.
Oh,
it's supposed to be
season that's what I should have asked.
Season 1, Part 1, Season 2, Part 2 is what I've heard.
That's what it feels like.
Because I was basically going to ask you, are we starting to get into the second game?
No.
Okay.
No, we have not. No. It's kind of how I would say we're decently like halfway through the game at this point. I would say.
Yeah.
But they could also ramp up the last. Section of the game to fit these last few episodes. I was kind of hoping they were going to split each game into 2 seasons. I feel like you can, especially with how much extra they've expanded already. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of surprised how fast the season's actually going, storyline wise comparative to the game. But I knew this episode was coming the way this last week's episode, and when I sat down with Haley, I was like, this one's gonna be a juicy one. I was like, I've been waiting for this bad boy, because one of them, like literally the most famous scene from the game is in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I loved this fucking episode. I thought another niner on the board, but
Yeah, period. Yeah, this is trending up, man. It looks good, and it's ended. Even the parts that are questionable are still excellent. It's like, there's not really even moments where you're like...
You're talking about, like, when the dog sniffs her?
Dude, that part was so good.
Dude,
stressed you out, didn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Well...
What's gonna happen?
Well, and you always have in the back of your head, she's not going to get fucking mauled. Because you know she's not going to get mauled.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah.
You're in your... For me, it was like, is Joel going to have to shoot this dog?
Right. Yeah. I was more thinking, like, how the hell do I get out of this?
Yeah.
And I was like, but then he's just, dog's cool. So, okay.
Yeah, she's just loving on him. That's a funny part. All you sit and hear this dog all excited then. Mm-hmm. Like, Jamie's just like starts cracking up.
And I just, So then they get brought into the fortress town, basically.
Yep.
They're like, we've self-sustained. And
So this was a change from the game.
Oh, really?
You don't go into the town of, I think Jackson's what it's called, until the second game. You see Jackson in the first game, but you don't go inside of it. So that was a change. So
the game developers just didn't have the time, but the show was like, well, we're going in.
Yeah,
but it also makes sense because they already know they're going there, and they kind of allude to it in the first game. So why not just stop by there a little bit to help kind of build that up and set it up for season 2,
right?
To show up.
So. And I did like it too. Like, so his brother's there; he's alive.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But
didn't want him there.
Huh?
He didn't want him to come find him. That's what I got.
Yeah, probably not really, because as we saw with Joel was pissed off and upset because he basically took it as like, well, you abandoned me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And honestly, from what the message I took, it seems like he's just, he sick and tired of the shit that they did together. Like, obviously he says that a million times. We killed people. We killed people. I killed people. And
he was like telling me, he was like, that's why I was cool with just plotting here, and like, they told me I couldn't communicate with you over the radio to avoid raiders, and he was like, I was cool with that because like I was tired of what we were doing.
Yeah.
And then Tommy reveals that a child is on the way, which of course just pisses Joel completely off, because here's my brother who's basically cut me off from connection when I've been trying to look for him and save him this whole time. He's here, and he's getting the life that I lost, essentially, with my daughter now. So,
exactly.
Great episode.
Well, and also, too, I feel like for Joel, also, like, maybe it was also, like, what is now his purpose? And that's the whole thing where...
He's got a hero complex.
Yeah, and, like, that was the whole thing in 2. You saw it with, Ellie, that she was like, well, shit, now he's found his brother, so she's just going to abandon me. And, like, that's the thing, is you have these different emotions going on, because it's like, well, Joel's mission's kind of over. Like, sort of.
Kind of.
Yeah, because his Tommy used to be a part of the Fireflies, so he knows where they would be. So that's why he also, like... That's also a change, too, from the game. Like, this thing happens where he tries to pawn Ellie off to Tommy, but like, they've made him much more vulnerable in the show because he's like half deaf, and
so it's more, he's like on the verge of getting a heart attack.
Yeah, he's getting like these panic attacks because he's worried that he's not strong or fit or young enough to protect yet another surrogate daughter, so he's like panicking on the inside. That's another reason that dog scene was so good, because it was basically him being in the situation he was in episode 1 and in the situation of when he was with Sarah, when he lost Sarah. Right. It was him in that exact same situation again, which is why he was freaking out and panicking so much. Yeah, because he's starting to feel helpless.
Which is an interesting.
And he doesn't want to go through it again. It's like, Joel's weird because he's got a hero complex where he feels like he always has to save somebody, but he's afraid of failing what he feels like his purpose actually is.
Well, and it's interesting to me too, because how he started this like journey when they get beyond the wall initially with Ellie. He fucking beats that dude to absolute fucking powdered shit, and And now he's worried about, I don't have a step,
he's a step slower. He's kind of going deaf. He's old. Like like when he's crying to Tommy, he's like, I literally don't have the strength to do this. And he's like, I don't want to live through again for a third time.
Plus, you also got to remember when he is talking to Tommy, he alludes to, I mean, they've alluded to it multiple times in the show, like Joel doesn't sleep.
Right.
And when he does, he doesn't mean to. That's why he got pissed at Ellie. Like, why didn't you wake me up?
When he was popping his pills and chugging.
Yeah.
She's like, I got it. I check my surroundings. I get up high. I know what I'm doing. Like, next time, wake me up. Like, he just, that's another reason where he's probably, losing it a little bit, too. Lack of sleep, plus then he's, going to, not be as strong or as alert. So that's probably why he's going from, more of the invincible Joel that most of us would know from the game to a much more vulnerable, I don't want to say decrepit, but he's a more layered Joel. He
depth to the character for a live action portrayal.
And then of course the scene that everybody, and I guess according to Joel and who plays Ellie? What's her name?
Ramsey.
Yeah, Bella Ramsey. Yeah,
Bella Ramsey. Okay.
They talked about how they had lack of sleep from trying to film this scene.
He said Ramsey, and I was like, no, it's Lady Mormont.
Yeah, Lady Mormont.
I forget that's her actual name. Oh, shit, wait, that is her actual name.
Oh, yeah.
That's weird, but anyways.
But
back to the last
Bella
one.
Ramsey talked about how they were freaking out so much about this one scene because it's an iconic scene from the game, and how they were losing sleep over it. And it's the scene where she basically calls Joel out on potentially just leaving her and dumping her behind.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She talked about, I remember that in the post-credit when they did the preview, where they kind of talk about, she talked about
the making of the episode. That's why HBO's a lot cool, because you always get that dive into how they did it.
Yeah, they remember they say they kept laughing because of their interaction when they were trying to make it so convincing. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. But they nailed that scene though.
Yeah.
It really did.
Especially if you play them side by side to each other. They're
I saw them post that on Facebook the other day, and I was like, "Fucking God, that's so good."
So, and then the whole point of them going to and I loved it too, just shot to me personally, just when they're walking through the campus. She's like, "People lived here?" And he goes, "Yeah, they did." She goes, "They lived here to go to school?" She's just and study and stuff. And he goes, "Yeah, but I like to think that more of it was just so they could live here and party and just
find themselves."
And I was like, I miss it so much. If I could just go back.
I never did that.
Shit, I ain't gonna sit here and lie. I did. I did it a little too much.
Can't confirm.
Yeah, I think everyone says that about college, about themselves, though. They're always like, yeah, looking back, I probably shouldn't have done as much as what I was doing compared to what I should have been doing. That's okay.
Period.
But I just loved that because it was just, because, she's so naive, and it's, unworldly to her.
Yeah.
And he's just she's just so it was just... She's like, so it was just a bunch of adults just lived here and went to school. And he's like, well, yeah, adults, but they're still pretty much kids. And I was like, yeah, it's true.
Right.
It's cool. But it sucks, though, because the whole place was abandoned. So whatever information the Fireflies got apparently was wrong. Or they were just too damn late because they took forever to get there.
True.
Yeah, because, I think they always, kind of constantly move their headquarters.
Oh, okay.
Depending on the time of the year and stuff
True.
like that.
Because they did see the map where, so now the direction is to go to Salt Lake City, I think is where they said it was converging.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So where were they at? Were they in Colorado or they were in Missouri still?
I think Missouri still, because that's where Tommy was, and I don't think it was super far away.
For some reason, I thought it was out Wyoming.
No. The
The
previous episode was in Missouri.
Oh, okay.
So maybe they are further out west.
Yeah, because they were in Kansas City when they...
Yeah, they were in Kansas City, yeah.
I think they were further out. I think they were further out west because I remember when they I can't remember what something directionally they said during the show made me think that they were out west, and all they had to do was travel south or something like that. Which I can't remember based on the location.
I think it's when they're looking at the map. He's like, we just need to go a little south.
Yeah.
I mean, and they were out in like rancher country.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus.
Yeah.
Might as well have been on the Yellowstone.
Yeah, no shit.
Oh man, I've been grinding away at that show. That show is
fucking something, ain't it?
I just started season 4, so
that's actually where I'm at. I need to go back to it and finish that show. That's where I'm at, is that season.
I felt so stupid the other night. I found a new nickname as somebody who works for, spoilers. I work for a Coors or a Molson Coors distributor, among other things.
Yeah.
So I can't remember which character, walks into a bar and like, 2 yellow jackets. I'm like,
oh yeah.
I was like, I thought you guys were sponsored by, and then they brought down. I was like, holy fuck, how did I not know that was a nickname for Banquet? Yellow jackets. I was like, I'm calling it that from now on.
Well, I mean, around here we don't drink that.
Well, that's true. It's not huge around here, but
true.
Yeah, we're not out fucking west, dude.
Although it does move when
Midwest.
It does
We're
move when
West.
Yellowstone's on, at least in the bars, because they have these like watch parties at bars. So then they'll order Coors stubby bottles and they fly out the bar. Like, it's crazy. When Yellowstone's around, Coors Banquet does.
What I just don't like is like the old seasons are on Peacock, but you have to have Paramount to watch the current.
It's so confusing.
It is confusing as fuck.
Because I remember going
confusing, and it's just their way to get $20 out of you instead of $10 or because I mean if you're like me, I'm paying for no ads. I don't want ads, but excuse me. Anyways,
that way too.
I need to get back to that and finish that. But now, so back to Last of Us. See how they're gonna go, but pretty much what Joel feared happened.
Yep. See, they're still in the building, and they get some. I'll just call them raiders. Show up, and then obviously Joel's like, oh, let's get back to our horse, blah blah blah. When they get out, sneak out the back, get to the horse. There's one of the henchmen raiders attacks Joel. Bat gets broken in half, and then old Joel gets stabbed right in the core, and he's down. And
right in a place where no vital organs are too, though.
But though, he pulls it out, and
the worst thing ever to do.
I know, dude.
The worst thing ever.
Literally, when he did that, I literally audibly went, "Why?"
You legitimately, when you get stabbed, you're not supposed to pull it out.
In fact, you're supposed to put like gauze and tape around the base to keep it from moving at all.
Right? Yeah.
Keep it sealed.
Keep it sealed until you go to a hospital where you can get it surgically removed. Of course, he doesn't have that option, but still, though, he just like took it. Like as soon as I saw him reach for it, I was like, "Really? That's how you're gonna write this? Like, come on!" And just pulls it out and just starts spilling.
Oh yeah,
just spills, and he's just
like you pulled the cork off a wine bottle. Glug, glug, glug.
Literally.
Yeah, he'd have probably been fine if they would have been able to get someplace like somewhere you could just get like a little bit of medicine. I mean, I'm sure they had something with them, in their supplies. But I mean, as long as you got somewhere where you could just lay down where they could like cauterize it and shit, because shit, pour gunpowder in that motherfucker and light it up.
To be fair to the writing, if you get stabbed by a baseball bat, you're probably immediately going into shock. So he's probably not thinking straight when he...
Very true. This thing's in me and it's not supposed to be. Get out.
This doesn't belong here.
That is accurate.
But then, the episode ends with Joel collapsing on the ground.
Falling off the horse.
No, oh yeah, he fell off the horse too.
Yeah, he falls off the horse.
Unconscious, unresponsive. Ellie, please, Joel, you can't leave me here.
I can't do this without you.
Can't do this without you.
I like it was badass when she fucking was shooting at him off the back of the horse.
Oh yeah,
just don't. Like just unloading the clip on him. Fucking.
I thought that was pretty.
Yes, Ellie is becoming Ellie.
Oh, hell yeah.
Whatever that means, but yeah.
Yeah, we'll find out.
I guess we're gonna find out.
Uh-huh.
But next week, you guys won't get your answer on Joel, so.
Right.
Got a flashback episode, which this episode will be centered around the DLC that came out for part 1.
Oh, cool.
So,
okay.
That's kind of cool. And just random, just because I try to point out any common or similarities and differences between the game and the show. That's not how Joel got stabbed in the game.
Oh, really?
The way he gets stabbed in the game, I think, is he like falls off something and he actually gets impaled by like the bars that's in like concrete.
Rebar?
Yeah. So that's how he gets stabbed in the game.
I prefer the rebar over the fucking broken bat, though. Rebar at least is like...
It could be rusty, though.
That's fair. And it's also ribbed, too.
And also, like you said, it's going to go through you, so then you got to actually pull yourself
out. No!
I didn't talk about a big piece of rebar. Just a piece.
Just a little tiny piece.
Yeah, just enough.
I didn't say I wanted it to still be attached to the concrete.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I just have this random piece of rebar. I'm going to stab you. Good God.
Yeah, I'm going to change my score. 9-5. This is actually probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite episode.
I'll stick with 9 just because I think that there's more that you can get from it than I could get from it. But
yeah.
And honestly, I won't lie, I will be kind of biased. Like I said, this is like it features probably the most iconic scene from the first game. So I was obviously already looking forward to this episode, and they've fucking delivered on it. So I really like this episode.
They haven't fucking missed, man.
Nope, they have not.
And that's so impressive. I mean, holy shit.
It's fucking adapted from a video game, and it's a goddamn home run. It's unbelievable.
Seriously. And if there was going to be one game...
one.
Now we just need the Mario movie to do well, and the times of video game movie and TV show adaptations has changed. We've come a long way.
Yeah, from fucking Resident Evil, you bet.
Yeah. We don't need to go down that rabbit hole.
Came a long way from
Resident Evil, Tomb Raider, Prince of Persia, Assassin's Creed.
I forgot about... Oh, no. Those poor Ubisoft games, dude.
That is kind of crazy. Oh, my God. They're all Ubisoft
That's
games.
hilarious.
That's fucking funny.
That is funny.
Oh, man. I'd never even realized that. Holy shit.
Did you guys know that Bert Kreischer's making a movie?
I saw the trailer. I haven't actually watched the trailer, but I saw The Machine. The Machine. It's
based on his joke.
It's based on his joke about being in Russia.
I'm still gonna watch the fuck out of it.
Mark Hamill's gonna play his dad in the movie. That's why. A while back, they were on a plane together, and people did not know why. And now here it is. This is why they were shooting a movie together.
It's gonna be so fucking funny, dude. Bird is a fucking riot.
That'll be interesting. But yeah, I think that, since Kevin doesn't want to talk about our last topic because he's a hater, I guess.
That's right. Don't touch
Lord of the Rings is back!
No, that's not.
3 more movies.
Fuck this.
3 more movies.
I will say, I hope they're just movies set in Middle Earth. I hope they're not just redoing
Hobbit 4, 5, and 6?
Not that. No, I don't want them to take the smallest book and cram it out into 3 movies.
If they are movies that are just set in Middle Earth, fine.
I do not.
But I don't need you to go
Peter
back.
Jackson's also heavily involved and in touch, along with somebody else who was really involved in the first.
They're not going to direct Jackson and his team. They're not going to do the movies, but apparently Warner Brothers has kept them in the loop.
So I agree that it probably won't direct, but I would imagine that he'll probably have a producer role on it.
The problem is that they're doing Rings of Power, and I will say that. That's the thing, is I would have liked it to be about how the southern kingdoms of man fell. Or maybe they could just do how the northern kingdoms of man fell. I don't fucking know, but I really hope they're not redoing the original, the trilogy of Lord of the Rings.
I hope so either, because those movies are so fucking good. I don't think you're going to be able to top them. The third one won Best Motion Picture. I mean, you don't need to redo those. Right. I would even be cool with, if we're not going in the past, all right, what happens after Lord of the Rings? What happens?
Well, remember this. They made a whole fucking...
It's supposed to ideally be like this. How... elves and dwarves go extinct, or all the mythical shit goes extinct.
And there goes
the camera. Well, I mean, we're about 2 hour mark.
We're about to wrap up anyway.
So, ideally, the idea is that all the mythical creature shit, that all goes extinct, and then the world of man evolves into what we have today. That's what you're supposed to take away from the end of Lord of the Rings, and like Gandalf and Frodo and Bilbo, and they'll all sail back to Valinor. It's like they're going back to heaven, you know.
I mean, we're also talking about a movie series and franchise that wasn't Battle of Five Armies like 2 pages out of a book?
It's like a paragraph in the book.
Dude, that was the annoying thing about the Hobbit trilogy. You took literally the smallest book out of any of the Lord of the Rings books.
And you made a trilogy.
And you made it into 3 fucking movies.
Not to mention, like you say, a paragraph is an entire fucking movie.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't no idea. I mean, what the fuck?
It literally is a paragraph, though. Like, it's just a paragraph in the book.
Mm-hmm.
But
because the book is more... That's why the second one is so good, because that's really what the book is. It's just conversations.
Yeah.
That's why the second one's so good, because they did such a great job with Cumberbatch doing the motion capture and the voice.
I will say the second Hobbit movie was good.
When he's talking to the dragon.
I thoroughly
and the
enjoyed
beginning of the third one, like when they fight him, like that's all cool.
And then the third movie immediately pissed me off. Because granted, I haven't read The Hobbit since 4th grade or something like that. So I realized that like the whole battle with Smaug is literally like a page or whatever.
Yeah.
But I thought they were going to take some adaptive liberties, especially with how Desolation of Smaug ends. They kind of built him up to be like a big bad for the third movie, and then he's just killed off in the first 10 minutes. It's like,
he kind of just...
I was like, I wasn't hyped to see this character again at all. Yeah, I'm glad he's dead. Fuck you.
Yeah, because
you saw him come out of the gold. Well, what do you want?
Yeah, well, like they cliffhanger it with the second movie, and he's got the badass send-off line. He's like flying. He's like, I am death. And like then the third opens, and it's like, okay, he's burning people alive, but like they get rid of him pretty fast because, like you said, they took a paragraph of the book and adapted it into an entire movie.
Right.
Which
scares me for these next
trash because, like, okay, Legolas even being in it, that was completely added in. He's not in the fucking Hobbit book.
I will say that's my favorite character, so I gave 0 fucks how little sense it made that he was there or not. I was like, yep, that's my boy. He's here. And we're back. For family.
He looks older in this movie, but it happened 60 years before the...
And elves aren't supposed to age... Whatever.
Yeah.
Just put him in.
Yeah. But, like, the whole elves part of it, I don't know if that's in the book where they're there at that fight or not. I know it's 5 armies, because it's like... It is the 2 dwarven armies, right? Against the 2, like, orc armies. Is the 5th army the elves? I don't know.
It's been so long, but it would make sense, I guess.
It's Durin.
Yeah,
He's here.
I really hope they don't just remake the original trilogy again.
No.
Give it either. Yeah, go back in time in the Second Age.
The only thing that I can think of off the top of my head that they did differently, like Peter Jackson, what he did differently was, instead of Aragorn being this guy that was hell-bent on, like, getting back to Gondor, ruling all of men, because in the books...
He was more reluctant
in the books, that's who Aragorn is. He's like, he wants to go be king. In the books, at Rivendell, they immediately say, do you want the sword reforged? And he's like, yes, give me that shit. And he's like...
give me that shit.
And he's like ready to go... rule Gondor and be the leader of the men of the West and, like, take back all the power. Like, he's ready to do that. And where, yes, in the movies, he's, like, built up to be this, I'm scared of who I am and my bloodline, and I will have this weakness that I'll want to wield the ring. And, I have not read those books, but I know that's, like... Because people that are fans of the books, that's like their one big bitch is like Aragorn.
I agree. That's the only real... I've heard other gripes where Peter Jackson definitely took some adaptive liberties to change some things, but yeah, that's the number one gripe if I hear any.
No, and I've heard different opinions that he... Okay. Does he actually marry Arwen in the books? Or does he marry Éowyn? Because I thought, I could swear, people have told me that in the books... he marries Éowyn because it unites the kingdoms, which would be reflective of, like, our reality of, like, how they're technically really just England and France, and you would unite kingdoms with marriage. Right. So in the book, I thought he married her, so then it would unite Rohan to fight with Gondor.
Right.
But other people have told me, like, oh, no, he marries Arwen in the book. And I'm like...
That's honestly, that would make sense, because that's what I always found really weird.
I think my dad told me that he didn't marry Arwen, and he told me the thing about Éowyn. But then other people have been like, oh, no, he marries Arwen. But I don't know. It makes sense that he would have to marry Éowyn.
Well, that's what I always thought was weird about the movies. It was like, because he was so in love with...
Arwen.
Yeah, with Liv Tyler. And then all of a sudden he's in love with this Éowyn, and the last movie out of nowhere he starts falling for this chick, and I'm just like, huh? I was like, you're literally wearing the necklace of... I was like, I'm so... Yeah, so that would kind of make sense, because, like, they can't be together, like him and Éowyn.
Yeah.
Because she's immortal. Like, well, until she...
Well, she doesn't have. Yeah, she doesn't have Numenor blood.
But
yeah,
I just always they clearly just destiny didn't line up for them to be together. So yeah, when they introduced her and the third one, I was like, oh, okay. But then they just kind of reverted away from it at the very end, and I was like, that was a weird side quest for seemingly no fucking reason. But
I don't know what else really out of the books that he whatever he freely adapted there. Well, the only other thing, and I remember because I just remember watching with my dad, that my dad did say that he swore up and down also the battle at the Black Gate also had the elves and the dwarves. My dad swears up and down that he's like, if I remember it right, it had everyone. It wasn't just the 100 people that were left over from the battle from Minas Tirith. So, I mean, they could do those things differently, but I don't know.
I hope they tell stories outside of it. Either after Lord of the Rings, which granted, like you kind of alluded to, it might be pretty hard to do.
I think it would be hard for
So you might have to just go back in the past and tell some second age story or...
It'd be smart to
whatever.
I would think so. Do pre-Rings of Power. Show the fucking shit about Morgoth and Valinor and all that. Sweet. Show that damn shit. You talk about it enough, just show the shit after that.
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
God, you got the book.
Hey, now Lord of the Rings feels what Old Republic fans feel in the Star Wars world. Just show the shit and stop talking about the old times.
Just let us see the shit.
Let us see the ancient times, man. Okay. Let us see the ancient times, Lord of the Rings. Let's do it.
It's fair.
So don't fuck this up, Warner Brothers. You already fucked up.
Enough.
Enough.
Say it.
Say it. Well, Jesus Christ, guys. They fucked up DC. They fucked up Harry Potter. Like, come on. Like, what was that Fantastic Beast shit?
Something that should have been a lot better than what it was.
Which I guess we're getting more Harry Potter movies, too, whatever that means.
Yeah.
They're going to do Cursed Child.
I hope God not.
Not
even Harry Potter fans like that.
That's what they're doing.
But that is what they're doing.
That's what they're doing.
They're going to do Cursed Child.
Oh, I'll believe it when I see it. People have been saying that for years.
I think they came out and said.
Yeah,
straight up. They're like, yeah, we're doing that.
Yeah.
Fantastic Beasts 1, good. 2, very much a step back. The third one wasn't horrible. I want a better fight between the two.
Yeah.
Like, I was watching that movie and I was like, oh, this is about to get sick. And then it was just kind of real quick. Dumbledore and old Grindy, I was like...
Old Grindy.
OG.
Which I was like, okay, that was not as fulfilling as I was hoping it would be. So I'm hoping, because they technically... It's 5 or 6 movies they're supposed to make of those. So I'm hoping that we're just eventually getting that old Elder Wand fight and some real ass kicking's about to come down.
Right.
I just want us to
because that's
go
where
back to
want it
Hogwarts
be.
and just fucking stay there, not go anywhere else.
Okay.
I would like a movie, like an origin movie about Hogwarts, like how Hogwarts came to be. I think
be
that
cool.
would be fucking awesome.
I think they should also adapt
But-
it to where they do other like characters in the world at the other schools. Because like remember in Goblet of Fire, they have the 2 other schools come and it's like their Olympics. Like okay, like do characters at those schools and like adapt.
Play the game.
Fuck the
Play
fucking
the game. Play the game.
See, I heard about the movie that they were going to try to adapt potentially Hogwarts Legacy into a movie. That's what I heard.
What?
I didn't hear anything about Cursed Child. I heard that they were going to try to adapt Hogwarts Legacy.
I thought that's
Or a,
weird.
or a
I mean, it's
variation of that.
It's a character creation game. I don't know
and
how
dude,
that works,
and
but
dude,
all right.
And if you play the game, like it is a movie. Like it's crazy how much it's a fucking movie.
Yeah.
There's so much dialogue and there's so much like path-based choices. Like your response dictates how everything results. So it's like there's a million different pathways you can take, and everything makes sense and it wraps into like a certain storyline.
So the one school is in Russia, right? And then isn't the 3rd school in America? Or am
I can't remember.
There is a school in America. I think that's where. I think that's the one Newt visits in like the first movie. I think because he goes the American Hogwarts.
People are starting to descend in the basement.
Oh, for the bare knuckle fights.
All right.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, that was everything anyway. So
Yeah. I think we're good.
So yeah, sorry. It's about time we go watch people beat the absolute crap out of each other with
Hell
their
yeah.
bare fists. So
I'll stay for this. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'll say I'll
Maybe
probably stay
we'll-
for a couple.
Well, maybe we'll do a review on this for next episode.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in and watching. Much appreciated as always. If you guys could leave us a comment or like, subscribe, always appreciated. Help us get in that juicy YouTube algorithm.
The juice.
Algorithm.
The juice.
The juice.
We've got the juice.
As always, we
The
are
dip.
on Podbean and Spotify. Yeah, so until next week, I'm your boy, Jay. See you.
And I'm KP.
It's
I'm
the
just KP.
It's the crunch.
The crust.
Soon.
Always tailed up with the bull.
Soon. I'll plug our shit when that comes back. But yeah.
Big bets.
Hell yeah.
Big bets, huh?
All right.
Alrighty, thank you guys so much. Until next week, see ya later.
Deuces.